Welcome to my real estate weekly update. I'm Bill Gross at Bill Gross Probate on social media. This week we're going to talk about the city of Los Angeles. Can't find enough housing for homeless. So they built a project, 270 units, at a cost of $600,000 per unit. Aren't there other properties available that are nice enough for them? I think there are. Before we get into that, let's take a look at the market where we are, the actual statistics and the data to make the right decisions. I'll show you some news that's misleading, and then we'll get into the homeless industry in Los Angeles. So in an economy, you always have supply and demand. The offsetting factors determine where the market is, what prices will be. Demand is most impacted by interest rates in housing, and supply is the inventory of homes available for sale. Let's take a look at the interest rates. They close again just slightly above 7% after last week, slightly below. They've been in the range. If you're going to get a mortgage today, you'll get one about 6.5%. So the market has continued to be in that 7% range. It's been all year for a year or so. Certainly rates good enough right now to keep the market sustained in a healthy market nationally as well as here in Los Angeles. Now, inventory continues to be tight by historical standards and nationally overall. Now, it varies in individual market areas. But if you take a look at the inventory of homes for sale, you'll notice it's actually declining a little bit. It had been 672,000 units, and now it's down to 560. Whereas in years past, this time of year, it's gone up. So you've heard stories about rising inventory. That's true in some markets, but it's not true nationally. Nationally, inventory is coming down and fighting past trends, which means that this is still the lowest non-pandemic year ever other than last year. It's only slightly above last year, and inventory is declining while last year was rising. So we're at record low inventory any way you slice it. Prices cannot drop dramatically unless there's too many houses for sale, causing sellers to cut the prices. So as long as this is true, we're not going to have housing a drop unless something changes. And that's just based on the facts of where we are in the marketplace. Now, the market is very localized. So in Los Angeles, with the market, I love Altos Research. They do a great job evaluating multiple factors, and they summarize it with what they call their index, which is at 41. It stays around 41. It's been in the range of 42 or 41 for about a year, which is a seller's market, a slight seller's market, not as intense as a year ago, but still a solid seller's market overall. And that's what I experience as a listing agent. Every listing I have gets multiple offers if the price is right. And there are agents and buyers looking for homes that are in escrow to see if they'll fall out. That's how active people are today in the marketplace. So the market overall is extremely healthy. One of the big misconceptions, and this is in the news this week, is that some homes are too poor condition to sell. That's not right. Here's an article in the New York Post. Condemned California house unfit for human occupancy gets 7 offers in a sign of a cutthroat market. It's not a sign of a cutthroat market. It just means that that agent listed the price, or that seller listed the price correctly. Think about it. If I showed you a house that was completely condemned, this one's in pretty bad shape, boarded up, but say you buy it for $1, people line up a mile long for a lottery ticket to buy it for $1. How about $10? The same. $1,000, probably the same. $100,000, maybe less. $500,000. Well, in this case, it sold for over $700,000. My point is that every property has a value, even vacant land has a value, unless it's negative because maybe there's nuclear waste on it. And so the idea that the house is in bad condition doesn't mean it won't sell. It means it will sell for the right price and won't sell for the wrong price. And so the fact that there's 7 offers on this house boarded up is not a sign of cutthroat market. That's a misconception by the news. It just means that in this case, the seller and the listing agent priced it at a good price to get enough competition. This property is in Silicon Valley. I've done the exact same thing here in Los Angeles area and outlying areas. When the property is priced right, it's going to sell. It doesn't have anything to do with whether it's a cutthroat market, and we're certainly not in a cutthroat market. Now, speaking of cutthroat, that's bad. I shouldn't say it like that. Misleading news this week. One of the awards goes to Realtor.com, my own organization, where they wrote that the Fed latest interest rate decision could affect the housing market near breaking point. Now, we know it's not near breaking point. I just showed you inventory is declining. That means that there's not enough houses for people to buy them. You have this picture of Jerome Powell. He might be a nice man, but he's long past his prime. He's just an attorney who's made his whole career out of overseeing the destruction of the U.S. housing economy. And he's benefited. He's worth $20 million. And he has all kinds of prestige and honorariums. But what has the Fed done to help the average American? The opposite. He's helped his friends on Wall Street while the housing market's been destroyed. But that's not really the point here. Here, the Realtor.com has a picture of him looking sad because the market's at a breaking point. It's just such nonsense. The market's not at a breaking point. And the Fed's decision is really more about the Fed and their political power than it is about anything to do with the housing market overall. Also, misleading article this week, award goes to Yahoo. Yahoo Finance, they're like one of the worst, always. U.S. home sales crumble. Crumble in May and high rates. And when I say to you, Mark, the sales crumble, what percentage do you think they went down? Take a guess. In your mind, put a number. What percentage did sales go down? Well, if you read the article, which they don't like plan on you doing, they want you to click on it and then go click to their advertisements. That's really what this is all about. But if you scroll down in the actual data, you'll see the market drop, the rates dropped a little bit. Sales dropped 2.9%. That's crumbling. 2.9% drop. While housing prices went up 5.1% year over year. So the total housing sales went up net about 2.1%. Remember, the headline to get you to click was home sales crumble by Yahoo Finance. And then it says Redfin. So who's the liar, Yahoo, Redfin? The answer, both, probably. But just another example of how the real estate industry news is just clickbait for their advertisements. This was an interesting story I found. Now, this was not a news story. This was a website, WalletHub, which is a website for personal finance. Best and worst run cities in America, 2024. Now, I live in California. What are the odds that we have a lot of well-run cities? Well, I'll skip to the punchline and tell you. Our best run city is like number 60. Where is it? 65. Huntington Beach, California, out of 148. So we have a couple in the top half. Huntington Beach is in the top half. And I think San Diego's the top half. San Diego's a great city. Actually, not. It's in the bottom half. San Diego's a great city, too. We go to the worst run cities in America. And you have Long Beach. There's Riverside, Long Beach, Sacramento, LA, Oakland, and the worst, San Francisco. Not a surprise. Not surprised that California has most of our cities the worst run in the United States, according to WalletHub. That's the perception, and in my experience, is probably the reality of the quality of homes, of the cities being run in California. Okay, here's another, this is a fascinating article. You know, I did a previous article on how the homelessness is not a problem being addressed by our cities, but it's really an industry. The government has created a whole industry of homelessness, and then they get to give money to their constituents and keep money in their system. So here's an example. People in homeless housing trained on how to be squatters. Well, this isn't a surprise. We know that when people go to prison, they learn how to be career criminals. They go to jail, they learn how to be career criminals. So this article talks about a program specifically in Florida, but you can imagine nationwide it's the same thing. They have a group basically that's effective, training each other, coaching each other on how to squat. So you have a program designed to help homeless people. They get together and then learn how to steal other people's houses. Why would that be? Because if you're rewarding people, obviously, for not working and not contributing to society, they get together as a group. They're just going to do more of it. Under bad personal financial information, one of the worst offenders, I think, always is Zillow. And because at the end of the day, Zillow, like most major corporations, is just part of this, hey, you can't make it in life depend on us, corporate environment destroying entrepreneurship and the American dream. Zillow is the largest, most powerful real estate company in America, destroying economic value of real estate companies and entrepreneurs who pay taxes, unlike Zillow. So here's the chief economist giving you some advice. I love this. The chief economist says, Short-term tactics like house flipping won't work anymore as prices continue to rise. And then she gives 3 alternatives. Now, first off, home flipping is hard. I mean, it is hard. I've done it. I have one I'm in escrow with right now. I'm gonna make a lot of money on. In fact, I should make more money on that than my commissions this year. But it's hard. It's a result of a lot of work, a lot of expertise, a lot of systems. So there's nothing that's easy to make a lot of money or income or in anything in life. But the chief economist at Zillow, Skylar Olson, gives 3 alternatives. Well, let's see what the 3 are. Maybe she's so smart. Maybe they're better. Number 1, buy and hold to build equity. Well, that sounds great. But to buy and hold, typically you need a lot of equity. To buy a house, typically now, in most cases, you need about 30% down payment to find one that will cash flow properly. So that's great if you have money. If you're some wealthy chief economist at Zillow, overpaid hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in inflated stock, yeah, buy and hold real estate. But to the average American who doesn't have $10,000 in the bank, that's not really an option. They can barely afford their own house, let alone buy and hold equity. Stupid advice. I mean, great advice to buy and hold equity if you can, but that's not going to help most people. Second, buy essentials-based commercial real estate. Oh yeah, the average American should just buy commercial real estate. So stupid. Why? Because commercial real estate is so varied and so different and so much more complicated than residential. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it and people don't. I'm saying for the average person, that's a complicated maneuver. And here they're quoting a private equity firm. Well, yeah, if you have wealthy clients, they should invest in commercial real estate. Why not? But for the average person reading AOL and reading Zillow's Economist article, that's not really make sense. And the third is optimize your portfolio with some of these online index funds. These are Wall Street darlings. So the same investors who invest in Zillow and hire, Scar Olson, their chief economist, put on the board of directors of these tech firms to invest money. And these companies look great for a while and they buy a bunch of stuff and then they go broke. And there's no real equity in the deal, so it's just investor money that gets lost. So really, these are very risky investments. I don't know anybody who did this in the long run and built income and wealth. I know a lot of people who flipped property and made some money a couple of times. I know a lot of people who started flipping and moved into buy and hold investing. I'm one of them. I don't know anybody who's followed, what's her name, Skylar Olson, chief economist at Zillow, as if that's, is that impressive? Here's a lady who probably her whole life has only sat behind a desk. And you look at her resume, it seems to me all she's done has been an economist and right out of school. It tells me she never really done anything other than tell other people how they should make money. Maybe she's a real estate investor. If so, put your cards on the table, share with us what you've done. But to tell other people what they should do with their money, I think is a very serious opportunity to help people, or if you just do it casually, you're misleading people. And I don't think the chief economist at Zillow really should be quoted as a source of what people should do with their money. Okay, so the feature story today is, in Los Angeles, I almost can't even get this one out. We have a homeless problem. So what do? We build, this is what we do in LA, beautiful $600,000 units and give them to homeless people. And they have all kinds of amenities. Now, one thing you should know about government programs, if it costs $600,000 to build them, it's going to cost a lot more to maintain them and then to rebuild them when they're torn apart and hire city staff to run them and provide services for them. So I'm sure it ends up costing about $1 million a unit. But we built this high-rise, 19-story high-rise, $600,000 a unit to put homeless people in. Of course, the floor has to go to city employees, of course, to provide the services for them. And these units, this is hysterical, these units have a gym, an art room, a music room, a computer room, and a library. That sounds really good. And it's downtown near the courthouse. I'd like to live there. And you know what? If I was going to get, I don't have a gym in my house. I have a backyard. I go for a walk. I have an art room, a music room. I have a computer room. That's where I'm doing this. And a library. Homeless people need a computer room and a library. I don't know. I mean, make fun of people, but come on. Come on, let's be serious. Is that really what we're building here? Is this really what homeless people need in Los Angeles? The thing that really bothers me though as a real estate agent is this really the most effective way to get the job done? And so what I did was I went online and I searched in the city of LA. Currently condos are available for sale under $600,000. And I found like the same number, 200 and something units. Now keep in mind, these are good enough for the homeless. This was $349. Now true, it's small, it's only 449 square feet. Nice area, just south of Franklin, right? And great view. Nice looking building, cute little spot. Those are community rooms. Pool, sauna. So these are the amenities, right? That's a nice looking kitchen. Small room, but a room. Like that's not good enough for the homeless in Los Angeles. Just FYI. That's not good enough. Well, okay, let's look at the next one then. Here's the one on 77th Street. This is more South LA. South of Florence, near Crenshaw. Okay. So, again, not as attractive. Nice big room, clean, freshly painted. Nice looking kitchen. I've sold these units before. Nice looking bathroom. Washer dryer in the unit. And this is 349, and so 1 bedroom, 862 square feet. Not good enough for homeless people in LA, I guess. Here's a unit, 355. And this is a mid-rise. Looks secure, parking. Oh, look, nice room, nice flooring, nice paint. Kind of open lighting, plenty of room. Look at that kitchen. Man, those are new places in my house. Don't let my wife see that, she'd be upset. Maybe we need to upgrade our kitchen, I don't know. Anyhow, here's my point. My point is this, obviously. I don't mean to belabor it, but really, we need to build $600,000 units and give them to homeless people and then staff them with amenities. Is the average Los Angelino, well, let me ask you this, who do you think is paying for that? We are. Can the average Los Angelino live in that property? I don't think so. I don't think they're living in apartments as nice as those. So, certainly not. So I think it's outrageous. At some point, we need to start shaming our public officials. Of course, they love building these units because their staff members get to live in them and they get to look like they're doing something important, feel like they're doing something good. But at the end of the day, there's no solution to homelessness that includes building $600,000 units and giving them away. It's just never going to work. I think we all know that. And what do you think? Put your comments down below. If you like this, like it, subscribe, send this on to a friend. If I could help you with any questions regarding real estate, I'm at Bill Goes Probate social media or reply to this email. And as always, make today your best day ever. Thanks.